too much if I can't look at the camera. And I know it's below. I don't got nothing hanging up like that. Because I'm driving home from work. I'm driving to my house from work. But earlier in another video, I had mentioned that. So I graduated from Bridgewater College, and I have a BA or Bachelor's of Arts in History and Political Science. And then I also studied secondary education, which is 6th through 12th grade. And that, my intentions in life, and let me tell you this too, before I go into what I really want to go into. And I know I say that a lot, but while I was in college, the one thing that, right now I'm working at Poultry Plant, but what has upset in me is that, and this is not what I really want to talk about, but what has upset in me is the most is that all throughout my 4 years of college, they kept telling me, oh, there's a teacher shortage, Where is this teacher shortage at? Because I've looked, and I tell you where the teacher shortage is. It's not around here like they told me it was. I mean, yeah, there is a teacher shortage, but not in what I did. But so let me just say what I did. So my intention was to be a history teacher, whether it's through 6th or 12th grade, which is what I studied. But what I want to talk about though is that after I went through my 4 years of college, the one thing I actually would have preferred if I did become that, and not because of money or anything like that. I mean, $50,000 starting off. Let me tell you something. I'm making $36,000 now, and I'm fighting for my life. That's after taxes. But while I was in Bridgewater College, my last year there, I actually worked at the library, and I really enjoyed it. And I wish that, and not only that, I also began, I actually took a public policy course, and I learned about being policy analysis. And so I guess what I want to say is that when you're like myself, and you're from someone who's from a low socioeconomic household or background, which just basically means you're poor, but that's the correct terminology you're supposed to use. Remember, low socioeconomic or high socioeconomic. But when you're from a I'll just say low income household, they're always promoting education, and there's nothing wrong with education. I think that education is important because there's some people out here who literally need to sit down and read a book. Like, sit down, read a book, expand your mind, stop listening to what everybody else is saying. But I felt like after I went through school, and also somebody who studied education, I just did not feel like, I feel like there needs to be more career exploration in school. And while I was in high school, I did attend a vocational center, but I took education as well. And there's like, carpentry, and you could be an electrician and stuff like that down there. But I just wish there was more of that within the high school. Like, you could go out and shadow a lawyer, or or have people come in and talk to you about how banks work and what type of jobs are in a bank. Because I'm going to be honest, I feel like many of these rural towns are dying. It's because children, first of all, they don't see education as an outlet to grow in. Like, for them, they don't see themselves ever leaving or changing, ever moving on from these small towns. And not only that, I really don't think, I didn't even understand what more college could have done for me if I did have the career exploration that I needed. Because it took me 4 years, and at the end of the year, I finally realized, I wish I would have gone to school to be a research librarian, or an archivist, or a conservationist, or cultural management, because those are the things that I was more interested in. Like, I enjoy history, and I enjoy talking with children. I do. Like, children are my life. Like, I cannot imagine my life without a child being in it. But, and especially today, compared to how dangerous teaching is, I would have preferred if there would have been career exploration in high school. And I don't and also too, in 11th and 12th grade, that should be the time that we are exploring more of what we want to do, especially when they're telling us, oh, you have to decide now. And you should really have in your mindset at least 3 things you want to do, because to go through 4 years of college undecided, hold on, let me pass this car. To go through 4 years of college undecided is, especially in today's world where college is like $200,000, and believe me, you do not want to go through 4 years of college undecided or with just a general liberal arts degree. But back to my point of what I was saying about rural America and why these small towns are kind of dying is, and I researched this, like I studied this, like this is something that I would also want to do, like go into and develop rural America a little bit better. But a lot of people don't understand also is that a lot of these small towns are basically where, let me see. So, how am I going to describe this? I'm trying to see how I'm going to say this. So, we all know that kind of rural America is agrarian society. And that really was modernity. Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I don't got a little sticky. But rural America was modernity at some point. You know, everybody wanted an own piece of land. They wanted to farm it. They wanted to have animals. As time goes on and we go into the Industrial Revolution, that's when we start seeing this push for not only kind of assimilation, but also urbanization. And there's nothing wrong with either of those, but it's how they want us to assimilate and to what standards, and to also, and that's also, let me go on, but to also urbanize as well. And that's also too why in some sense the school system today is kind of a little messed up, because if you don't look at, a lot of people say, oh, it's to build workers. Well, at one point in time, working as a blue collar worker was okay. Like, people made a good living off of being a blue-collar worker working in industrial America, especially during the 1940s, because guess what? After World War II, there were no factories. I mean, there were factories, but not in the rest of the world, because the rest of the world was destroyed, so the United States was doing economically tremendously well. But as we've gone on, we've seen that these small towns are now what we call kind of these mono-economic cultures, like the same way Cuba and Haiti have just sugarcane as their economy, and it literally does not do them any good. And from that, we see these industries slowly dying. We see the factories being taken away from us, either being pushed farther south. Sorry for the hair. I just got out of work, like I done told you. They're either being pushed farther south because there's not really any taxes there, you know, because big business doesn't want to pay the taxes, but also they get sent overseas because the labor is much cheaper. And so that's one reason why these small towns are dying, is because there's no skill being put into them. I gotta fix this. Don't worry, I'm doing okay. I'll drive on a back road, so there ain't nothing for me to really hit. But, and then also for that, I think that in rural America as well, many people, they kind of are afraid to change because they've kind of always been pressured and forced to change. And so I think that's also too why that these small towns are dying. But mostly going back to the educational part, I don't even know where I was, but that was probably a lot of information for y'all. But for the most part, all they've ever seen were this industrial economy with the factories. And for them, they don't see anything else. They don't know anything else, because many of them, I've known kids who literally have never been an hour to the nearest, it's not even a city, it's just something with more in it, but they've never even been an hour away. The only time they've ever left their small towns is if we ever got lucky enough to have enough money to go to a field trip, and that was literally just 3 hours away. But what else do I want to say? But for the career exploration, these kids come from towns that don't, first of all, like I said, they don't want change. they don't understand change is important, they're afraid of change, and that they've only known one thing, which is the blue-collar work. So how can you expect kids to want to do well in school and then expect them to go to college when they really don't know what type of jobs are even out there? It's really what type of jobs are out there. And then today also as well, children are just majoring things because we're told education can improve your life. Okay, but there's more to that, which is, I guess it's common sense that you're supposed to do something with your degree, but I don't think they understand. They just say education is important. You can make more money with an education. But there's more that goes into it. But that's pretty much all I wanted to say, I guess, in some turn, is that career exploration is important because not many kids don't even know what's really out there. Like here in rural America, I'm gonna be honest with you, I feel like many children, like I know that it's a very big agricultural sector, but they can do, and I feel like they think that when they hear agriculture, they're probably only thinking farm animals and planting corn. And there is so much more that goes, like I looked into the agriculture sector. I think they would be so well experienced at being soil conservationists. They could do well at being conservationists for the forest, for the soil, creating better seeds for farmers, becoming farm animal veterinarians, but they don't know those jobs are out there because nobody ever talks to them. Nobody ever allows them to have any type of internship while they're in high school. Like that, if I I've always planned on writing this to the congressperson, but every time I write to them, whether they be a congressman or congresswoman, I just nothing ever changes. And you should always write to your congressperson, but they're not the same as they used to be in the 20th century. But that is one thing that if I ever had the opportunity to reshape rural America, I would definitely consider. Career exploration is highly important. I think it should be put in schools, and that's just how I feel. And I don't feel like it would take millions and millions of dollars to do. All the school would have to do is ask is, hey, on your free time, can you please just come talk to our students? Can you talk to them about what it's like to do x-rays? Can you talk to them what it's like to be a veterinarian? Can you come and talk to them about what it's like to make better seeds? I don't know, because this is not the 20th century, this is not the 19th century. There are so many jobs out there that we probably don't even know about because nobody has ever spoken to us. So that's all I wanted to say, and I think it'd be a good idea. What y'all think? I think it'd be a good idea though. I think it would. I think it's important. So